Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for this video because I feel like this is the reason I wanted to start YouTube in the first place. Obviously right now, not able to travel, like it's not happening. But obviously everyone knows who, well everyone, like, but people that follow me on Instagram know that I love to travel. I travel a lot. I just want to make it clear that a lot of the places I travel are with my family, so I'm not going to be talking about everywhere I've been because that wouldn't make sense, because that's not the point of this video. So as you can tell by the title, this is going to be tips for solo travel. Significantly if you're a girl, so female, small, and you're traveling solo. So yeah, so welcome to my video. It's going to be really good. I asked on Instagram some questions that you wanted to know about solo traveling, and in this video I'm going to be talking about interrailing specifically. So I'll talk more about when I did Bali and the Indonesian islands, like later on, but right now this is going to be all about interrailing. So I did this. I've got all my documents in these. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit first, and then once I've done that I'm going to answer your questions, okay? So first of all, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, which is tisdrew, and then you can ask me questions over there, and then I will answer them for future videos, because I'll be talking more about travel and just in general lots of things. Sorry, I'm going to be sitting like a little child. So I booked via interrailing packages, and I went on Thursday so I went in 2018, so yeah, so I just turned 19, and I just thought, F it, basically. I really want to go. None of my friends could afford to go, or they didn't want to go, and it just wasn't really their scene. It was more my scene, so I'm by myself, and I don't regret that decision at all. It was amazing. There was some happy moments though, and there was some down moments, because some parts were a bit lonely, which I'll talk about when I talk about destinations. So yeah, I booked via interrailing packages. I went for 2 weeks, like total. I started off in Amsterdam, and then I went from Amsterdam to Berlin, and then after Berlin, wait, I'm just gonna get the whole thing out so I can show you. Okay, so this is who I booked with. So from Amsterdam to Berlin, so I started off at London St Pancras, because obviously it's the closest station to me. I went to Amsterdam, then went to Berlin, then went to Prague, then I went to Budapest, and then I went to Ljubljana. I loved it. And then I went to Venice, and then Rome, and then ended it in Paris. Sorry, I just wanted to know the correct route. So it was quite intense for 2 weeks. So my biggest tip would to be either increase your time and spend more time in different places, or more time in the same places, or get rid of some of the places. So I'm going to talk about which places I loved and which places I didn't like, and I'm going to compare them a bit. So with regards to Amsterdam, honestly, being a solo female there, I didn't like it. I did feel really uncomfortable. I did get followed, like it was really, it just, yeah, no, I probably wouldn't do that. Well, I probably would now, because I feel a lot more comfortable with myself now, because I'm now 21, but I just turned 19, so I was basically still 18. Not that really matters, but I just didn't feel, I didn't feel 100% safe there, if that makes sense. But I stayed at the Mianja Amsterdam City West, and honestly I have no faults. So I was staying in hostels all through. I have no faults about it. It was really good. The treatment I had was amazing. Like, someone put their stuff on my bed, and I went downstairs and was just like, I don't know what to do, and they moved me to a solo room, so really good. And then in Berlin I stayed at St Christopher's in Berlin. It was so good. I made so many friends. It was just a really good atmosphere, because it was in a pub, and then like we were upstairs, so that was really good. In Prague I stayed at Sir Toby's hostel, which was really cool. It was like, that's the hostel, I don't know if you've seen it on Instagram, and it's like there's like 3, so there's the bunk beds, like 1, 2, 3. Obviously I was put on the top, my 5'3" ass. I genuinely thought I was gonna die, like it's so high up, but it was just fun. I made nice friends there too. Then in Budapest I stayed at the Maverick hostel. This was the coolest hostel by far. It was like in like a townhouse vibe. It was just sick. I got so many cool photos of the building, and I'm going to try and throw in some like photos during this video as well. But that was amazing. And then in Ljubljana, which is my favourite place by far, I stayed above a pub called the Hostel. So I stayed above it, and like below was this pub, and it was an amazing little street, and if you walked up the street it was like a river. It was beautiful. Again, I didn't set photos. And then upstairs it was like a little attic room, and there was just loads of beds. I made loads of friends. Like the friends that I made, new friends from home, so it was really cool. That was a really nice thing. But that's the one thing about solo traveling, you make friends, especially if you're doing it so quickly. I made friends. I could have gone to Lake Bled with them and stuff, would have been really nice, but I had to go like the same day I met them, and they weren't going there. And then the next day I was leaving, so it was all very fast. But yeah, Ljubljana was my best place by far. I would 100% go back there, 100%. I forgot to say Prague, I probably wouldn't go back there, especially as a solo traveler. Just like people, like I'd be walking, like men would be like, and I'd be like, stop, don't look at me. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, no, Ljubljana was amazing. I felt completely comfortable the whole time, like completely comfortable. Again, the same with Berlin. Yeah, and then I went to Venice, which I loved. I stayed at the Generator Venice, which didn't feel like a hostel at all downstairs. It was so cool, but then upstairs obviously it did. There was some weird guests in there. I didn't make any friends in Venice, but I didn't really mind because I kind of put my earphones in, listened to jazz music, got on the boat to the actual Venice, like the main area, would go around the shops, go get food. Like it was just really nice. Then I went to Rome, and I stayed in the Generator in Rome as well. I don't really remember if I liked or disliked this. It was okay. I just loved walking around Rome. Like honestly, I didn't really care where I was staying as long as there wasn't bed bugs, and there was a place for me to like lock up my stuff under the beds. I felt fine. And my final stay was again at a St. Christopher's Inn in St. Christopher's Inn Canal. So again, another St. Christopher's Inn, this time in Paris. Again, it's so good. We were right above a pub. So in Paris, actually met one of my friends, Giselle. So I wasn't solo traveling there, but either way I'd feel fine in Paris. I've been to Paris so many times now with a boyfriend, with a friend. I love it. Like it's just, oh, I love Paris. It's so nice. So yeah, now I'm going to answer some of your questions. If you want more in-depth detail about any of the trips that I went on and any of my experiences, I'll answer them down below, so just don't hesitate to ask them. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, look how cute this is. So I kept, and you can see, I kept all the receipts and things. How cute is that? Oh, there's more, but like they're on the other pages. But I'm just gonna show you. I'm literally a bit of like a hoarder. Yeah. So these are all my tickets and stuff, and like receipts for all different places. How cute. Oh yeah, this is just an actual pro tip. So if you are solo traveling as a young girl, or even like a boy that just doesn't feel that comfortable, if you book with Interrail packages, you can't actually see it, but like they give you directions to every single hostel you're staying at, and it makes life so much easier. Like I remember I had errors with some of my bookings, and they would like fix it. I would just email them and they'd fix it for me, and I'd just be like yes, because I remember so I got the night train from Milan to Paris, and it was such a nightmare because I'd heard so many horror stories. People were like, they take your passports, you won't get them back. And I was like, because obviously when you cross the border, the police come on and they want to check your passports, and you're supposed to give it to them. And I was like, I'm not fucking doing that, because obviously I'd heard these horror stories about people stealing them. So I was like, no. And they were like, okay, well, you're going to be woken up at the next stop. And I was like, not next stop, but like you're going to be woken up for them to check your passport, because they're going to have to come and check it. And I thought, why is not everyone just doing this? Because that makes more sense than handing over. Anyways, I waited, they checked it, it was fine. But honestly, I was so scared. I was on the bottom bunk, so it's like bunk beds inside this little place. I was with like a whole family, and I was on the top bunk. I was just lying there, and first of all, I've been told about bed bugs, so I was just like like trying not to move, and I'd put like a towel down, honestly. And then I had my passport under my pillow. I had my bum bag with all my essentials under my pillow, so everything was like safe, because I couldn't sit up because there wasn't enough room. So I was just lying there like, do you know what I mean? And it was in pitch black, it's middle of the night, so it's not like I could like do anything. Yeah, so here's more, just all the little details, just in case anyone wanted to know. I kept them all because I just thought it was so cute. It's my travel insurance. Look how cute. I forgot to say, I did go to Milan, but I wasn't there for very long, so I wouldn't really count as, I was just there for a stop, and I literally went straight to a cat cafe and just sat in there all day. Okay, that's good. But I just thought Milan was a bit of a dry place, not gonna lie. But yeah, I got so many cute things, I love it. So, biggest fear about solo travel: feeling lonely, out of depth, what do you suggest? Okay, first of all, yeah, there was moments. I remember there was like a moment in Ljubljana, even though I loved it, I had a bit of a breakdown. It was before I made my friends, and it was because I was actually getting over a rough breakup, so I was just a bit, but if you're not going through anything, you'll probably be fine. Like, it was really good. I made friends everywhere other than Venice and Rome, but I didn't really mind. Like in Rome, I don't know, I just went sightseeing by myself. And then in Venice, I ate everything and just went to little art galleries. It was just beautiful. And like the whole city vibes is very jazz. So I just had jazz music on the whole time. But my tips for that is to keep in contact with friends at home. And so I made myself a travel playlist on SoundCloud, which I've lost now because I don't really use SoundCloud. So now I have Spotify, so you can follow me on Spotify, which is, again, it's Tiz Drew, and I have a little travel playlist. I've got playlists for all moods, like every mood. Always keep your earphones on you, bring a spare pair as well, and that should be like your thing. And then when you're on the trains, because I know you spend a lot of time on trains, which I didn't mind. Also, I'm so lazy, I didn't even book seats. Because I'm quite small, I would just put, so to talk about what I brought, I had a little backpack, like tiny, and then I had, you know, Primark do the little suitcases, like little pull-alongs. So I had one of those, and that was all I brought, the little pull-along, and that had like my clothes in it, and I would like lie on it. So I'd wear my hoodie, put it over my head, have like little shorts on because it was hot, and then just lie on my suitcase. Like, that would be my room. Don't ask me why. But yeah, bring a book. So I read Get Your Shit Together, I think that's the one I read, or I read one of Sarah's books. Really good, highly recommend. I felt fine reading that. I should have brought another one though, because I finished it like halfway through, and then I was like, oh, right. How do you get over being scared, especially of creepy men? So obviously it's a bit different now, because now I'm just like, but when I was there, I would like call people. So I'd call my mum if I ever felt uncomfortable. But I only felt uncomfortable once in Amsterdam, and then my dad FaceTimed me, so it's fine. And then again once in Prague, and I think I just called my mum. Yes, it's fine. Like, honestly, people really do over exaggerate, in my opinion, because I didn't get anything, and it was the height of summer as well, and like, I don't dress like most people that we'd say traveling. I was literally wearing like little dresses, like tea dresses, because that was what was in trend at the time, and I was wearing like maxi dresses and stuff, and I really didn't get that much bother. Like, you get creepy men looking at you, but you get the same in England, if not worse. So just gotta grin and bear it, I guess. How do you meet people when abroad, apart from going to bars, etc? Okay, so I only went to bars if there was bars in my hostel. Other than once in Budapest, I had to go to the Rome bars, because obviously like you have to, but I made friends in the hostel, so it's fine. But yeah, it was fine, I guess. It wasn't really an issue, because I was in hostels, so if you're in a hostel, you usually do make friends, because you're in a room with people. And I was booking the cheapest ones, so I was in a room with like at least 12 people, so I was bound to speak to at least one of them. I'm going to Bali next year. What should I pack, and should I go to Ubud or Qatar? 100% Ubud, not Qatar. Okay, essentials for what to pack to Bali is 100% swimwear, bug spray, significantly if we're going to Ubud. I don't know about you, but I'm allergic to mosquitoes, so I actually have to. And then what else? Moisturiser, sunscreen. I don't think of 5 things, that's 4. Anything that I thought was essential. Underwater phone case, but then not, because then I lost my phone in Indonesia, so let's not talk about that. Do you use Happy Cow to find vegan places when travelling to Thailand? No, because I found out, so I tried to look at it and I found out you have to pay for it. I was like, no. I might get it in the future, but I didn't need it. I just literally would type in vegan now, but I wasn't vegan at the time. So when I went interrailing, I actually still ate meat and dairy, and then when I went to Bali, I was vegetarian, and it was really easy because like that's just so easy out there. There's pretty much, well, the only thing I couldn't eat was meat. So yeah, I hadn't fully transitioned to vegan then. Now I honestly would probably, so it sounds really weird, but like, so my parents have a place in France, and I've learned all the French words for all the things that I can't eat. So we normally go to the supermarket and I just look at the back, because I really just hate French restaurants, because it's not in like Paris or anything, so it's in Courchevel, so the food, I just hate it. It's just like fondue and stuff. So we just go to the supermarket, I check the back, I look for the ingredients that I know I can't eat, and then I get what I can. Do you know what I mean? So that's fine. Sorry, I'm going so fast. I'm going to Singapore, New Zealand and Australia next year, solo, but so scared about Singapore. So I've been to Singapore, but with my family. It wasn't scary at all. Like, I'm not gonna lie, so you're not allowed to have chewing gum there, and I kept eating chewing gum, and I chew like, yeah, and my parents were like, stop. Well, my mum was like, stop it. And I was just like, no, like, I just love breaking rules, so yeah, don't do that. But yeah, no, it's completely fine. Completely fine. It's like a really safe place. They eat some weird foods, but just don't order those foods. And if you do feel uncomfortable, just stay where you're staying. Like if you're staying in a hotel or hostel, stay in those places and just go to supermarkets and stuff. That's what I do whenever I feel uncomfortable. Like I remember when I felt uncomfortable in Amsterdam, I left the city centre, went to supermarket, got some food, and then headed back to my hostel. How did you plan your trip out when you went interrailing? So like I said before, I went on that site and I literally looked at what looked best for me. I knew I wanted to go to Lake Bled. That was like the main thing I wanted to do. So I booked a trip around that, and like it was already pre-planned and they did the whole thing for me. So it was so easy. It was great. I just had to be there basically. Did you pack anything that you regretted later on? Okay, the only shoes I brought were my Converse, and I brought, what else did I bring? I brought another pair of shoes, but I ended up only wearing my Converse. So whatever other pair of shoes I brought, I regret it. But then I also regret the Converse, because by the end of that trip, because bear in mind I was walking, like, I honest to God was walking at 20,000 steps a day, because I was constantly exploring, and I'm one of these people where I feel really uncomfortable in public transport. Always have done. Not that I'm like a freak, but as in like I just don't trust myself getting to the destinations. Like I just don't, especially if it's like trams and stuff. I got on them in Prague, but even that, I just know what I'm like. So I was walking like 20,000 steps a day. Don't do it in Converse. My feet. I got home, I was like, get these off. I didn't wear shoes for like a month. So I would say bring comfy walking shoes. And if you're going during hot periods of time, make sure you've got clothes that you're not going to be boiling in. So I had a cropped denim jacket, had little tea dresses. I had one hoodie. I brought one hoodie with me, which I never regretted at all, because that's what I wore like when I was traveling and stuff. Even though like sometimes it was hot, it was just good, because I would literally just crouch on the floor and sleep on the floor, because I can sleep anywhere. Best places to visit when interrailing. Love this question. 100% Ljubljana, because you go to Lake Bled, and Ljubljana in general is the prettiest town ever. Again, I'll insert photos. And then Berlin, because it was such an experience, but I would love to do Berlin. So I'm supposed to go to Berlin in July because I want to do Berlin with friends. So I'm supposed to go with my friend Charlotte, because I think like doing it solo, you can't go to any of the clubs and stuff, and that's what Berlin's known for. But either way, it's such a cool, pretty area. Like, it was just sick. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna live here one day. Oh. And then where else? Definitely Paris. I love Paris. We'll always love Paris. But then again, if it was solo, I think Venice. Like, I know everyone's like, Venice, like, love. No, it's for solo traveling, okay? And listening to jazz music and walking around and feeling cool as. Hey, get at me for another. Wait, okay, I'm gonna do another one. How did you stay fit while traveling? How did you plan your trip? I don't 100% want to talk about this, because I walked everywhere. I was very thin at the time. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, I was just walking so much, but I wasn't really in a good place in terms of stress levels. Not the traveling, but like getting over a heartbreak. You know, it's like, everyone knows what it's like. So, and again, I've already answered the how you plan your trip one. How to be safe. Okay, I brought these like hot pants to wear underneath clothes that had little pockets in them, so I could put my money, so if anything bad happened, I would have stuff on me. Do you know what I mean? I didn't use them at all. I felt safe everywhere I went, so that was just really unnecessary. So yeah, I probably regret packing those, but I guess if you're a bit more of a fearful person, do that. So they're just on Amazon. They were like £12. But I didn't get threatened once. I didn't have anyone try and ask me for money. I didn't have any of that, thank God. But they do say to avoid, like, you know, if you see the people begging on the street, you know how normally in London we'd always like just give them some money, or like I normally buy people food and stuff. You're not actually supposed to do that there, because apparently like they can pull you and whatever. So I just listened to that because I knew I was on my own, didn't want to cause any trouble. Ways to still earn money while traveling. So I don't know. All the money, so I was an intern at a law firm, and the money I earned I put towards interrailing, and the interrailing actually only cost me, I think it was £1,000 for 2 weeks. That's including all my spending, all my trips. I know that sounds a lot to some people, but it's not for 2 weeks of traveling. Like, if you go abroad, like you go to America, Jesus Christ, that's like, if to earn money while traveling, I don't really know, because I just wasn't, like, I was just using my savings. What do you do in the evenings when traveling alone? So you just go to bed in your hostel. Like, you go out for food, and you explore, go wherever you want, and then in the evenings you just go to bed. And like, if you're in a bar, like you're staying above a bar, you usually go down to the bar with like friends you've made, or you make friends while you're there. If you just go and get a drink at the bar in a hostel, people will eventually talk to you, especially if you're a girl. They just do. So yeah, it was really easy to make friends at stuff like that. But then when the hostels, there's some hostels, like the one I was in Prague, you go downstairs and like there's like a giant kitchen area, there's like a pool table, stuff like that. So yeah, as long as you stay in a hostel, it's great. There's always going to be people. And then if you're not, like places where I wasn't making friends, I would literally just watch YouTube. So you can watch me. I'm joking, I'm taking the piss. Or am I? How did you pick your destination? So again, I just booked around. So I went on that interrailing packages site, I typed in Ljubljana and booked, I think it was the one that had the most places for the shortest amount of time, and as long as it included Ljubljana. Okay, sorry, I read this as sexy, but it said safe. Wow, it's really bad that my brain puts those two together. How did you make yourself feel safe? How did you make yourself feel safe? I have bad anxiety and worry all the time. So I have anxiety in social situations, but like I'm really good one-on-one, so it's like a different type of anxiety. But I do worry a lot, and I was so worried before the trip. I bought a belt that I could wear underneath my clothes to hide things in. I bought hot pants. I didn't use any of this stuff. Like, it was just so unnecessary, because it's just fine. I feel like for me as well, I wasn't walking around like a tourist. Like, I wasn't, whenever I was around big groups, I made sure I wasn't on maps. I made sure I was like listening to music, and I just looked like, and I wasn't wearing like traveling clothes, like I looked like I was just a girl in the city. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like if you make yourself feel welcome, you'll feel fine. It's when you make yourself feel uncomfortable, it's a bit like, do you know what I mean? What was your worst experience traveling alone? Just moments where like I was going through heartbreak and I was just like, oh my god, I'm so alone. Like, wow, I'm so alone. Like, that was depressing. But there were so many highs as well though. I went through a situation where one of my ex's friends was like, oh, he's got a new girlfriend, to me. They're all on holiday together. And literally I broke down. I was in Budapest. Thankfully I made friends, and they were like trying to console me. They were leaving that hour. I literally had a breakdown. I couldn't stop crying. And these two random boys that were in our room that we hadn't spoke to yet, they were like from Poland or something, and they went out to the supermarket and they came back with a Starbucks coffee for me. I didn't actually drink coffee, but I pretended I did. I was like, had an apple, like how cute, because they like had noticed I hadn't eaten that day, and like just, yeah. So that was probably my worst experience, because I was just crying my eyes out like floods in front of all these people. But yeah, it was fine. And like I saw the good in people after that. Like, imagine these like two random boys we hadn't even spoke to yet, because they knew the other boys were leaving, and it was just so nice. Did you ever get lonely? 100%. There was like times where I was just like, I should go home. Like, I called my mum at one point and was like, I'm coming home, but I'm glad I stayed. How did you get good pics? I don't think I did. Like, if you go back, I'm gonna insert some. I really didn't, and it was so annoying because I wanted pics at Lake Bled and before Lake Bled. So I'd been to Amsterdam, Berlin, Budapest. Yeah, I think I went to those three, or Amsterdam and Berlin, I think. I can't remember. And I had no pictures because I was so scared to ask someone to get them. But then after Lake Bled, because I'd literally asked so many random strangers because I just wanted one so badly, and they were all shit, so I kept asking new people. So then when I got to like Venice and stuff, I was like, F it, and just asked random people all the time at different bridges. But yeah, I don't think I got that good pics because I wasn't as comfortable in my own skin then. Then in Bali I got tons of good pics because I was with like a group, so I'll talk about that in a separate video. Did you ever feel unsafe? So I felt a bit unsafe in Amsterdam when I was being followed by this guy, but it was fine. So how you get that body, well, that has nothing to do with fitness, that has nothing to do with traveling, so another time. Absolute must-haves to take with you. Adapter. So I had one and it didn't fit, so you need to get like a universal adapter that has all different ones in it. So I had to go to a shop and get one, so that 100%. Comfortable walking shoes, because you'll be walking everywhere. This is for interrailing, by the way, not Bali. And then what else? Oh, so you need to have a bit of money in all the places. So every place I went to, not every place, but there was like 3 different types of money that I had, but I only brought one, and then every time I got to a new station I had to get it exchanged, and every time you get it exchanged obviously it goes down. So bring a bit of everything. And then I would say so if you go to the, you can use Monzo now at the time. I don't think we had Monzo. I used the ones that you get from the post office, but yeah, use a Monzo as well. So I bring a bit of like cash, because sometimes you need to use cash in all the different currencies that you need. And then also I'd bring a Monzo with actually like your main sum on it. How much do you plan in advance in terms of activities? So I had this whole list of restaurants, everything I wanted to go to in all the different places, like top 5 things I wanted to do in every place, because I knew I wasn't there for long. I only did like 2 of them, but I just looked it up and just knew what I kind of wanted to do. How to find good hostels. Well, I booked through this site, so they did it for me, and all the hostels were amazing. Like, I had no problems with any of my hostels, not one. So 100% recommend that, doing it through them. It's a bit more expensive, but in my opinion, if you're a girl and you're traveling alone and you're nervous, you've got anxiety, whatever it is, right, you need to be for a good company. So if there's any problems, you can be like, right, help. Do you know what I mean? So I was really scared about the night train, like I was just terrified about it because everyone was telling me these horror stories, like about they stole their passports, there was semen on the bed, there was bed bugs, what other horror stories did you get? Like, yeah, like really scary shit. And I was like, oh my god, like, I'm gonna die, because I'm only 5'3", like I'm a tiny human, like, do you know what I mean, like a little overgrown baby. And I look young as well, especially then. I looked even younger. Obviously I was a lot younger, well, 2 years. Yeah, so yeah, if you're with a company, you can email them straightly. So I'd email them if I ever felt nervous about anything, and they would like calm me down. How did you manage to afford the travels? So I'd saved, so when I was working at a law firm, like as an intern, I worked 3 years in a row. I think I got like 5 grand. Is that an over-exaggeration? Or 3 grand? I don't know what it was, because they're my 2 lucky numbers, so I was excited because it was my lucky number. I sound like such an idiot, but I saved all of that money because I was living at home. So, and then I'd only been at uni for a year. I hadn't really spent that much money at uni. So yeah, I just used savings, and then that was it. How do you raise money for travels with being at uni? Well, I've only travelled myself twice. So I did Bali and Komodo Islands, and then I've done interrailing in Europe. So I did Bali and Komodo Islands last year, summer 2019 when I was 20. And then I did interrailing Europe summer 2018 when I was 19. So it's not actually that, do you know what I mean? That's not a significant amount of money to save. Then with Bali, my parents, so it was like, how much was the trip? The trip was like 2 grand, I think. That's including flights and everything, because I had to get 3 flights on the way home and 2 flights on the way there. That's including all my transport and all the activities, because I did it with a group. So again, I'll talk about that in a separate video. That was more expensive. My parents halved it with me, and then because I got it for my birthday, for my 20th. And then this year I was supposed to be in Osaka right now. Bought the flights, everything, to go and see my friend Dee for her birthday for a week. She's already out there, but I'm making this video, so it's fine. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you do ever have any more questions, don't hesitate to ask them below. My next solo travel, in case anyone wants to know, will probably be South America, even though my parents don't want me going there alone. I really want to, or Australia, something like that. Anyways, I really hope you've loved this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn the little notification bell on. Oh my god, look how different my posture is. This whole video I've been sounding like a little hunchback. But yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed it. I really hope you're all keeping safe, keeping well, still social distancing if you're not. Why not? But yeah, I really hope this video has entertained you, and even though right now we're not able to travel, I hope you're now excited for future travels. But yeah, bye!